Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian own, nothing control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live or listening to replay. Always appreciate the live listeners and everyone that listens in the replay. This is the vault. Trust Christian own, nothing control everything. Episode 211, 2020, and looking forward. This is definitely looking to be a power packed episode to talk about not just trends in business, but to talk about the marketplace of business, where the vault actually sees it on the public side, businesses that are just thriving, businesses that are literally rolled by a month or two ago and they're shut down. These are bona fide restaurants that were diners, these were places that were buffets, these were places that have large gathering spaces that have been literally shut down in the global reset right now. The global technological usherance of internet growth. And so we definitely wanted to talk about this today. We definitely wanted to have a conversation with so many people because they say, well, where does the Vault City Trends, especially if you're not in Trustee Training, we talk about these things in Trustee Training. So, it's a pretty general conversation to have in the marketplace just because of the evidence of what's being presented in front of entrepreneurs right now. But we definitely wanted to start out the conversation with a preface to the fact that right now the marketplace has been preached doom and gloom, and it just doesn't look good, ladies and gentlemen. It looks very immature of many of the senior entrepreneurs belly aching about the opportunities that have disappeared in front of their eyes. It's like, oh well, we don't see the traditional market in front of our eyes, so what are we going to do now? And so just because you don't see the traditional market, which is traditional, ladies and gentlemen, these are once again large gathering places for businesses, places that can allow 10 and 20 and 30 and 50 people to stand inside of their operation. Those businesses have been drastically affected. Businesses that can hold more than 10 people at a time have been drastically affected as far as the minimalization in the marketplace. When you see some of the senior mentors, or should we say senior public stars that have grew large companies that say, well, we don't see the public market uh, allowing a free market to display his talent. When we're looking at a Ray Dalio interview earlier today, and he's saying that the free market is not being allowed to play out, when the free market is definitely being allowed to play out. Capitalism will always win because it allows free market ingenuity, thought process. For anyone to come at it and approach capitalism, where you can literally hear people are still getting funding right now on the public side for businesses that are public in nature, for providing for government contracts, providing for medical equipment. These are medical technology in general. So we see that there is a massive window and wave of opportunity. When you talk about healthcare tracking, where people are willing to wear a watch to allow their health to be tracked, where it tracks your sleeping patterns. People have those watches now. People want to track their workout patterns. People want the technology to make their lives easier. So the technology will make your life easier when it can track your heart rate, when it can track your O2 levels in your body, when it can track how your body's digesting and metabolizing food. These are what's called IoT, Internet of Things. That is an entire industry that is being created right now. This is information technology at its finest. It's literally where data is being sourced. So now we're in the business of data is booming right now. There's so much data being collected on online users, online shoppers, everything of that nature. So there's a massive opportunity for data. There's also a massive opportunity right now. 2020 looking forward is literally security. Data security has been booming and still is booming. And so when we talk about other Internet of Things, we are talking about storage. We can come out publicly and say it because not everybody's going to do it. How many people are going to go start? Listen to this one, ladies and gentlemen. A medical device storage warehouse. Literally, where there are devices, these are huge mainframes that are storing medical records, and they need to be stored in a cool, dry place, and fans need to be blowing on them. And internet technology is literally going to need more of these housing centers to house the data that is being collected on these mainframes. So just the storage facility alone, we see massive opportunity just in the land. When you look at Amazon, they're buying warehouse space. They're going to continue to buy warehouse space. This is a company that makes nothing, ladies and gentlemen. They make nothing. They are literally distributors. They are one of the largest distributors of multiple products, multiple industries. It's like, does Amazon sell cars? That's where you want to know. Are they selling homes and cars through these websites? Are they giving loans like PayPal? PayPal gives loans to businesses, ladies and gentlemen. When you have cash flow go through your business on PayPal, guess what? They offer you a loan after you've reached a certain amount of money through the account on a continuous basis. Bottom line, period. So you're going to see companies now like PayPal turn into online banking facilitators, which they already are. They're going to turn into an online banking facilitator where they're literally giving businesses loans, such as the SBA right now. And they're having people pay back the interest. You're building a relationship with these companies. So 2020 looking forward should have never been a doom and gloom thought process and mindset for anybody and any business that's looking to change and pivot. Once again, there are people that have had those businesses, such as the restaurants, that literally are 40 and 50 people plus and are being attacked and shut down. People don't want to call that what it is, but when Ray Dalio says free market capitalism is being thwarted, it definitely can have that perception right now because businesses are instituting from an institution or a third party who literally they don't even pay taxes to, the CDC. The CDC has put out information that says businesses can take these precautions, and guess what? These will be the best things for you. For your business to stay around, and now they've gotten government involved because CDC is not government. It's a third party administrator, it's a third party entity. Don't they call these organizations non governmental organizations? They're not a part of creating law like the legislator, but people say, well, they should legislate more law. But if they legislate more law, who's legislating? The legislator. And so people have forgotten about separation of powers, ladies and gentlemen. They forgot about that. And so when we see the marketplace crying, because that's what we're going to say. We're going to go ahead on our podcast and say publicly, if you are crying about capital in the marketplace, that is a farce. Why? Literally, capital has just been reported today that because they have more employees back in the marketplace working for even a short 2 to 4 week period, consumer confidence grew. Consumer spending grew. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead on the vault live and publicly and tell you right now the marketplace is literally without the so-called entertainment industry in the United States. Because think about what's being thwarted in the United States as far as their cash cow. What was it? Technology and entertainment. And you can see food, GDP, gross domestic product. What is this country producing? Entertainment. What is the United States country producing? Entertainment. What are these other countries producing? They're trying to create entertainment like the United States. But those guys in the United States love the fancy. They love what do they call them? Reality TV shows, but they're not real. So 2020 looking forward, even without entertainment right now, the marketplace with technology tools has increased consumer spending, ladies and gentlemen, month over month. This is the beginning of what you call the bull run, or what you see in the marketplace as it was a rally based rally where we can see that there has been a shift in the marketplace. Shift in the marketplace is easy and quick to see yourself. Now you see a lot of the senior investors in the marketplace and they're saying, hey, look, we think that this is second wave bubble mindset. We're not there. So where are they allocating capital? Are they allocating capital? Are senior trustees allocating capital right now? And so we challenge everyone to look at that because many people would say safe places are to go into these low cost stocks right now. We're going to do an episode about that because if you're going into a low cost stock, in a low cost stock scenario, you're putting yourself in a position of buy and hold. Now that's worse than a house. Why? Because you can sell a house and get liquid a lot faster. Most people are not gonna literally. People bought Tesla stock at less than $700. Right now it's at $1,200. That happened earlier this year. Their stock has risen hundreds of dollars since the pandemic's happened. Elon, literally 5 days before the month of the second quarter goes, he literally says, "We're all in, everybody." Literally, everybody's probably slaving away at Tesla. For the past 5 days of June, they come into July, literally in July, they have the strongest earnings report that they've had year to date, and their stock is up almost at an all-time high. We're going to go there for you tonight. We'll take some time, go through the data, because this is public information. So when people say, well, the marketplace is looking doom and gloom, what do you mean? How is Tesla stock going up if people aren't even buying Teslas, ladies and gentlemen? Right. What are you watching on news? Are you watching CNBC? Or are you watching real facts that are happening in front of your eyes every single day? So let's look at this stock price for Tesla. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to look at year to date, ladies and gentlemen. At the beginning of 2020, the stock was less than $600. Right now, it is at $1,200, ladies and gentlemen. Did people just get a wealth transfer to them or what? Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we call a wealth transfer in front of your eyes. We told you this was happening in February at the vault, and we're telling you again in July. When everything looks doom and gloom, when everything looks like it's going backwards for a quick second of, oh wow, when are people going to get out of this so-called depressed market? We're going to go there with you because right now, when you are in the public and listening in the public, all there is a message of the market's done for the rest of the next 6 months. Ladies and gentlemen, did Tesla just not say it's not? Tesla just said for the last 6 months of June, we're going to be all in. Are you all in on your business right now? Are you all in on your ideas right now? 2020 and looking forward, it's all in right now. For every business venture that's IoT, literally, we all know that the Tesla is running off of tons of technology. I mean, this is like this is like a driving cyborg. I mean, they're literally trying to make the car drive you around. I mean, that's where technology is right now. We've been begging for hovering cars. We've been begging for flying cars. And now you get the electric car that's going to drive you around. A little bit easier, right? You get in, you might have it on your GPS, and it might be pre-programmed, and when you get in, it just pulls off. This is the technology era that we are walking into right now, ladies and gentlemen, where literally you will walk into a Whole Foods. Because you have Amazon, you have a profile. It knows your buying habits, and literally it knows what you're looking for. And it's going to literally, you're going to walk through the store. You're never going to pull out the phone out of your pockets as you scan everything. It has your Prime connected to the actual technology of the store scanner. Oh, are you that much of a Nostradamus trust Christian? Not at all. This is where basic mathematics of we're looking forward 2020 and looking forward. Technology is here to stay. Technology is literally going to disrupt everyone's lives. And so, since we've seen the disruption happen, let's talk more about the disruption. Let's, oh man, where can we pull up some of these old articles that we've read recently where IoT is huge? You're going to see facial recognition. And then people say, well, what do you mean? Facial recognition is already here. It's already in China. Well, are you comfortable with facial recognition? Are you comfortable with never pulling anything out of your pocket and your face being recognized anywhere in a major city where you're walking down the street and facial recognition recognizes you? Some people are super comfortable with that. What about when you're in your house and the window's open and there's a camera sitting outside? Should it be able to track your face to whoever has that camera on it? See, internet security and internet laws are here. People that want to go into internet law and privacy law for internet is here to stay, ladies and gentlemen. You are seeing major companies go through antitrust privacy laws on a daily basis. Whether it's a bank, whether it's a social media company, you're going to continue to see it. 2020 looking forward is internet security. You can bet all in on internet security. Why are you betting in on your buffet? That idea has been radically changed. We may see what do they call them? Partitions where there's borders around people sitting at tables in restaurants. So interior design for these restaurants and these different businesses now literally have to adapt. This is the terminology you can use moving forward in your business. Is your business virus proof? Period. Is your business pandemic proof? Are banks pandemic proof? Clearly, they're not. They have appointment based now, which they could have been, but now they're appointment based. And some of them you can still walk in. Some people have different relationships. Some people, even in the private world sector, you still are going to set an appointment to go in. Point blank, period. So, 2020 and looking forward, you still want to go into your favorite restaurant. You still want to even go into your milkshake stand. Ladies and gentlemen, we talked to quite a few people that are in the Georgia area, say the business is booming in Georgia right now. And literally, they say that they're having food trucks. So think about that. Everyone had the crazy idea all throughout their life to start the restaurant. That's not virus proof. It's not pandemic proof. But a food truck is when you got people standing 6 feet in a line. Food truck is mobile. Food truck is very mobile with technology. People can track it. Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't even seen the beginning of technology and what social marketing is going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, we can literally say this company, Facebook, literally just lost a valuation of over $40 billion in less than 2 days. Why? Because they're advertising based company. They're a marketing based company. They say that they don't sell data, as they say. What do they say? They say that they allow companies to market directly to consumers. And so this company had major players pull away from the table, major Fortune 500 companies, and confidently came back and said, actually, today, from what we saw in the report, that he says confidently, this is what the bulls say, the guys that are putting their neck out on the line and going all in right now. He says those companies will be back sooner than he says they'll be sure enough soon. So they'll be sure enough back sooner. He's really banking on the fact that they'll literally be back within the next year. That's a big ballsy move to say that these companies are going to come back. They just pulled 50 billion, enough to literally destroy someone in business. $50 billion. These major telecommunications companies, they're advertising through that company. Anybody that was anybody, they were looking to say we're pulling out. We're not advertising. Pretty much maybe some of their major accounts. They pulled out. They renegotiated a contract, which is crazy. Think about it. They had a contract in place, so these people literally said, "We're done right now. We need to restructure. We're not giving you any money anymore." Why? Because there are things that are coming out about this company that people are saying, hey, what's going on with this company? Are you guys interfering with elections? Are you guys interfering with data? Are you guys interfering with content? So you're going to see more what? Internet security, more internet police. 2020 looking forward. This company is a marketing company. Think about where that $50 billion just left. They pulled out traditionally because of the times, and they're having some more racial, quote unquote, disputes. And so these boards are very diverse nowadays. When you look at a Verizon, when you look at a Nordstrom, when you look at a these major Fortune 500s, when you look at like Verizon, these companies have major diverse boards, ladies and gentlemen. They have they just have diverse boards, and for people to specifically if there's Facebook to not be aware of that and to be insensitive to that, you're going to see what they just did. These companies are saying, hey, look, the board's diverse. We're going to pull out. We know what that company's doing. We have insiders over there. We know what's going on the fact that they are utilizing the technology. We don't want to say it's manipulation, but it's called that. When you're controlling a narrative, when you're controlling, think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, owns the Washington Post. So, do you think there's going to be any narratives that come out in the Washington Post that speaks bad about any of even the companies that are in his portfolio? Why did he buy something that was going to deframe his character, deframe his businesses, to make them lose money? Now, guess what? What if they do that for manipulation to make their stock go lower? Like Elon Musk was attacked when he literally came out with a ballsy move and said, Elon said, we just secured funding from the Saudis. And that's when red flags went straight up. And that's because you're saying you're operating a public American company that's dealing with a regime that's not in their jurisdiction. They don't have any jurisdiction there. And so in turn, they're looking to be in a position where they would like to be, the states would say, hey, you don't have to go there to get their money. You can come here and stay here in our jurisdiction and get the money. 2020 and looking forward looks like business as usual, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen the numbers were strong today, ladies and gentlemen. And what's so sad is that when you read ancient knowledge, you know that every great empire, before it falls, fudges the numbers. Even recently, reading over the Soviet Union, and when they had their fall, a powerhouse of a national, multiple countries have become was considered the ex-Soviet Union and USSR. And so what we see is we see, people are saying numbers are being fudged. People are saying data is being miscalculated. People are saying data is not being calculated properly. I mean, these are the times we're living in. We're living in the hacker age, technology. And so when we see technology saying people are not reporting accurate numbers, data, and data needs to be better scrutinized, the analytics right now, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot stress to you how important it is pretty much for your kids to go ahead and learn how to code. There are many people that listen to the Vault that are over 35 years old in 2020. They're over 35 years old, and they were literally being taught coding in school, and they're over 35 years old. They were being taught this in middle school, elementary school, depending on the school they went to. This is very fact. We talk to people like that. And so people have been coding in school for over 10, 20, 30 years. Okay. How many people know how to code? Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the age of the coders. If you can code an app, if you can code a website, what else is there to do? Oh no, you didn't hear the Vault though. 2020 and looking forward is the coders era. The coders are the ones that put the messages on the websites. If you don't have a coder, you won't even have the Wall Street Journal on the website or the internet. So the coders are going to rule. So when we see STEMs right now being funded to develop technology, whether it's for PPE or develop structural technology or IoT information technology, we are literally looking at the coders era right now. The coders are winning. They're going to continue to win. They have taken, this is where we get into where people say the nerds are taking over. Ladies and gentlemen, you maybe don't have to be a nerd, but guess what? You might want to be a coder. We'll share with you a business partner's family member has a company that's worth over $100 million. They just created a new company that allows schools to scan children's faces to come back to school, and as well to have facial recognition for courthouses with people either coming in the courthouse and scanning them with facial recognition, where you stand in front of this screen and literally it measures your temperature. And if you have a so-called normal temperature, you can't be a tick off or whatever this new range of lifestyle is. Like you can't run up and just ran a marathon, you'll be too hot. So you got to come up with now you got to come up with the so-called normal temperature. And as you come up with this normal temperature, it's going to scan your face and it's going to allow you into the building. And so once again, ladies and gentlemen, that technology is being instituted right now. Once again, why would that technology be instituted? Because it's virus proof in the planet. Oh, I don't want that to happen. Well, schools are implementing, they're buying this technology from this family member's business partner that has this $100 million company in another space, but they're literally, and it does 7 things. It scans your temperature, it recognizes your face because you don't need to pull out your ID, so they're minimizing somebody to check your ID when you walk in the building. It literally has a pre-programmed ID into the system that you either should be at that building or not be at that building at that time. You are seeing that technology right now. If you're a frequent traveler on airplanes, you will know that they have iris scanning technology. Iris meaning your eye. So your iris is scanned at the airport through a company called Clear. So Clear is super cool in some respects of the fact that literally you walk up to a machine, you scan your eye, and it literally almost go through even pre-check faster, depending on the line. Why? Because they have your iris. They tracked you already. The Clear is right next to TSA. They wouldn't even let you get through TSA if Clear didn't get through TSA. So Clear has a relationship and a contract with TSA. Once again, why would you not bully out Clear? Oh, that's what Uber said until Lyft came along. That's what Netflix said until Hulu came along. That's what all these other companies said until Amazon Prime came along. Do we see the technologies being developed in front of our eyes, ladies and gentlemen? What role are you going to have in this shift? When you say, what does the technology shift look like? It looks like Tesla going from less than $700 in 2 months going to $1,200. 3 months to $1,200. That's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing a company such as Tesla say, we're all in. And are you all in? Or are you looking at the pundits on the freaking TV? I mean, this is despicable at this point. These are adults that are saying, well, you can count off 2020. We're going into 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, we just told you of a business partner's family member that is literally developing technology right now for people for the world. Facial recognition, temperature scanning, that is not a monopolized industry yet. People are developing it right now. But once again, they're going to have data security. They're going to have storage for their content. We know this. What about the marketing companies? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're pretty much younger than the internet in numbers, if you're younger than the computer, we're still at the infancy of it. See, this internet thing is going to rule the world for generations. So guess what? This is a long play. We're in the first 20 to 30 to 50 years of a technology that's going to rule for hundreds of years. We're at the beginning. So 2020 looking forward should never be dimming meek. But if you're watching TV, all we see on the screen going across the day is coronavirus. First it was deaths, now it goes to cases. And you're seeing this in front of your eyes and you're saying, okay, well, we're seeing that, but guess what? Are you coronavirus proofing your business? Are you coronavirus proofing your money in 2020? Or people sitting back like they have millions of dollars to literally say, well, yeah, we're just going to wait out the storm. Hold on, you're going to do what? You got millions. So that's why Warren Buffett can say, we're going to sell off our position. We're going to look for new opportunities and go in strategically and start moving. They didn't say we're not buying right now. They said they sold off a position. People sell off positions. Why would you sell off the position? Because he was in good stocks that he could sell high, and now he's getting in back in other stocks where he can buy low. Isn't that the rule, ladies and gentlemen? 2020 looking forward is buy low, sell high. Well, we talked about that earlier in the podcast, is that if you're buying stocks, you're buying to hold. That's what Warren does. See, Warren has no problem with living off the buy hold strategy. Why? Because he's living off dividends. How many people are living off dividends? Off of the stocks that they're getting. Unfortunately, that is the case. Most people they're not even getting in with companies that are dividend yielding. Are you working with companies are you buying companies that are dividend yielding? Do you even know the dividend yield? Most people don't even know the dividend yield. They don't even know the price to earnings ratio of the stocks that they're buying. But hey, buy low right now. Buy American. Why? Airlines are being drastically changed. What happens when you've seen the plans for the airplanes? And remember how the 3 seats will all look forward? What happens when they're alternating and one's looking forward and two are looking forward and one's looking back? Or two are looking back and one's looking forward. And they have partitions once again circling the seats. You didn't see those designs yet for the airplanes? Ladies and gentlemen, the marketplace has changed. It's no doubt about it. It's no need to sugarcoat it. It's time to get busy. You got to pull out your best ideas. Entertainment so-called has gone down, but not really. The guys that are over the internet streaming, they're doing just fine. They're doing internet concerts, calling it a virtual experience. What company and software coders, once again, that are creating the technology to give people this so-called virtual experience? People are going on virtual proms. People are going on virtual dates. Are you kidding me? Ladies and gentlemen, for all of us that were able to enjoy a date where you can go and sit in front of the person and possibly kiss the person that you might love for the rest of your life, or shake the hand of a good friend or business partner for the rest of your life, isn't that being changed right now? Aren't people's businesses and lifestyles being slowed down indirectly because of someone else's so-called recommendations, for you to stay alive? The recommendations, Ray Dalio says, have thwarted the free market. They haven't. The free market will always prevail because there are going to be people like you that are going to go out and create, not sit around like the economists, which are the doom and gloomers of society. Economists, ladies and gentlemen, anytime you see economists on TV, it literally means they are paid to measure the upside and the downside. But what is the upside of the economy right now? Do you hear about the upside of the economy? Or are you hearing about the downside? What is the downside saying about the economy right now? Oh, write off 2020. That's what the downside is. You can write out 2020 and go ahead and sit on your thumbs for the literally 6 months. You have 100 and some days to change your family's financial future for generations. Literally, you have the opportunity that Bezos just took advantage of. Bezos took advantage of distribution. Are you going to take advantage of the platforms and now coding on them? Because the platforms have been developed. There are going to be more platforms that are going to be developed, but they're going to be developed by who? The coders. How much are you about to lose because you didn't create that coding company that was supposed to be a billion, trillion type company? And by the time the millennials reach 60 and 70 years old, they won't even, trillion will be the old billion. And we'll see the one after that, the quadrillions. Your grandchildren will see quadrillions. A dollar won't mean much of anything. And people are okay with accepting $600 or $1,200 when the money is losing value every single day. Why not get into a residual business right now? 2020 looking forward. What's residual? Internet, ladies and gentlemen. Technology. It's the strongest play that you have. One of them. Housing. Everybody needs shelter. They're essentials, ladies and gentlemen. How is ladies and gentlemen, we were watching something the other day even about alcohol. Unfortunately, alcohol literally never closed down. Bars did, but the liquor store didn't. The local neighborhood, the same company, we're going to call them a company because whether you know it or not, the CDC is a company. They have a president, they got secretaries, they have a whole business operation going on at the CDC. So this is the same company that says we are all completely okay with liquor stores staying open because we put mandates in place called substance abuse operations. Oh, really? Substance abuse operations. So, well, doesn't that mean you don't want people using it because it's abusing it? They're abusing it? No. We're going to allow the abusers to continue to use because things could get out of hand from what we could see. They might get depressed. They might see the depressant they won't have anymore. Isn't alcohol a depressant? Right. But it could be recommended now as an antidepressant, right? Oh, wow. Do you hear the hypocrisy from the Hippocratic community? Don't they take the Hippocratic oath? Oh, okay. So they're the hypocrites. No. Hold on. They can't be the hypocrites. Why not? Who runs the medical industry, ladies and gentlemen? Big Pharma. Oh yeah, I'm sure you want to go up to that, go up against that conglomerate. What do they call that? Go up against that. What do they call it? That syndicate. 2020 and looking forward. Definitely going to deal with the digital experience. You're dealing with just technological revolution completely through and through, ladies and gentlemen. We have no remorse for any families that are not going to get on the ball. Whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur, there is a massive technological revolution that's going on in 2020 right now. More laws are going to be passed. When we say laws, even if there are rules, laws are going to start being placed at one point. So if you're not prepared for that level of strictness in the marketplace, you're fooling yourself. And that's why you're actually seeing a lot of the senior members, because they've done a lot of history and they're looking at the worst case scenario is that they are not able to come out of a hole in 2020. And so look at it. So they're counting out 2020 and going to 2021. And these guys are even trying to push it to 2022. Why? Because someone is saying that unless there is a vaccine created and everyone doesn't take it, then the marketplace is not safe. You want to know what that's called? A coward. That's what they're called. It's called fear. Let's talk about that word. Because they don't want to use that word, do they? Do they want to use that word? Oh no, we're not going to bring up the word. But then they use this word called crises. Well, if it's in a crisis, not to say you're going to fear anything, but crisis is close to panic. Have people panicked yet? Do we see panic? Or do we see creativity? Do we see ingenuity? Do we see panic yet? No. We see people that want to get back to work. They want to get on with their lives. They want to make a contribution to society and not be given a handout that says, look, we're not going to give you what you are truly worth, which is infinite. we're going to give you, what do they call it? Universal basic income. We got this little thing here. It's going to maybe give you a little bit of food money, a little bit of clothing money. Maybe not clothing money. We're going to take that back. You don't need any new clothes money. We're not going to give you any clothing money. We're going to give you money to do what? We're going to give you money for the gross domestic product of the nation. Buy houses. Right now, people are not even looking at the housing sector. We literally have trustees enrolling that have bought $1 million property plus they're buying and investing in $1 million properties. We literally have African indigenous descent investors right now investing in major cities right now, still at this very moment. And people are crying doom and gloom on TV. Why are they not reporting the real estate earnings right now? We literally have our trading partner Cornell. His wife has sold a house almost every week since this COVID thing's been going on. Now you count that up. That's almost a house for 8 weeks straight. She sold a house for 8 weeks straight. She sold a house for almost 9 weeks straight, 12 weeks straight. What are you saying about that in your family right now as a realtor, as a real estate agent? What are you saying right now in your household saying that the economy's doing bad when someone else is out there kicking butt? And they're in one state, ladies and gentlemen. Kicking butt. And people are writing off 2020 right now. Oh, we're going to write off 2020. Let's go to 2021. If you are following the pessimist, your life will end up pessimistic. So let's look at it from an optimistic perspective right now. Are you going to pivot? Like, hey, let's just say for the athletes, a lot of athletes may listen to the vault, which we know they do. Think about it. If you get injured, you can't play the sport anymore at that level that you were playing it at. So what do? You pivot in life. Everyone wants to talk about the athletes, but they're the ones that have to pivot on one of the most emotional things that you can do. Not only are you focused with your mind, you're focused with your body. Your body is literally pushing through pain on a continuous basis as an athlete. Not just mental, ladies and gentlemen. And what happens when that comes to an end? Well, you put in so much energy into something that you love, they call this a passion. Same thing you can do in business. What do? They just shift it over to business. They go into other businesses that they like. They might start training camps. They might start gyms. These are people that pivot. Are you going to be nimble and pivot right now? 2020, looking forward, is a rock star year for some of the greatest entrepreneurs that will ever be produced in the world. This has brought people to their financial knees. People have seen their parents. People have seen their grandparents in this moment. And they are looking at them saying, you guys aren't doing anything right now. You're getting free checks. What are you watching every day on TV? Are you watching bad news or are you watching how to actually grow the portfolio for the family? People are looking at their families and guess what they see? Pity. But then there's other families that have enrolled in the vault, trustee training, and then we do see it. There are families that are taking control of their financial future. Bottom line, period. If you want to be like the Rockefellers, you got to do like the Rockefellers. If you want to be like the Rothschilds, you're going to do like the Rothschilds. If you want to be like the Trumps, you're going to do like the Trumps. You got to put you and your family, your children, in position to win. So what position is the pessimistic news telling people to do right now? Oh no, hold your savings. So literally, you're holding a money that's depreciating faster now than it did when the market was up. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, the market is up. Guess what? It's at all-time highs. Did you know that? Wow, you see the so-called pundits coming on TV, these so-called senior investors saying, "Oh, I don't believe in the rally that we're seeing right now." Ask them how many of them are making money off the rally right now. Guess what? Elon did. They just ended the second quarter with the best quarter they've had in their history, and this is a company that's bankrupt. Oh, you didn't know Tesla has been operating in a debt position? Hold on. So Tesla, once again, we reported this for years now. Tesla's in a debt position, but their stock went from $700 or less in March to in July, they're over $1,200, $1,100 of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be deceived by the foolery. These people are paid. How are you going to take advice from someone on the TV that makes less money than you? Or they're making less than 100K. Is that your dream? Is that your goal? No, at the vault, we find people that are in alignment with our goals. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in. Find a mentor that's in the industry you're in, and that's who you talk to on a daily basis. That's who you deal with on a daily basis. Not, oh, let's see what CNN is saying, CNBC is saying, and all these other guys are saying. What are they saying? They're saying, guess what? Write off 2020 and go into 2021. And if you want to sit on your thumbs right now and wait for the so-called next artificial inflated market, which this is definitely looking a little artificial, when people are not working, when you feed stimulus into the market, that means you're blowing up a balloon with hot air. So people actually do need to work to create product and service. Stimulus, whether you know it or not, quantitative easing, these type of projects. Ladies and gentlemen, what happens when your family looks back on this 100 years from now and say, well, how did it get like that? Well, let's look back what happened 100 years previous to this. We're in 2020. What happened in 1920? What happened in 1923 in specific? Oh, wow. People say, how long did the Great Depression last? Really? Was it at the height in 33? Was it at the height in 33? Or when did the Great Depression start? (1923 to 1933), ladies and gentlemen. Please check your facts. This is 100 years later. Okay? People were in a frantic. What happened? No, they say, what they say? The pandemic in that year, swine flu, whatever flu, got the people then? Oh no, I don't believe in social engineering. That's not real. It's not. 100 years later, around the same time, there's not only a economic so-called crisis. There's a financial. See, those are two different things. See, economic is your family. Financial is where money changes hands. What does that mean? That means companies like Tesla, who's in a bankrupt position, they gain appreciation in their asset and still haven't even gone into a profitable position. They went into an appreciation position because more people do want technological cars. Everybody wants a flying car. Well, we might think Tesla can put out one of those sooner or later, which they probably won't. They just did what Henry Ford did. Henry Ford, he didn't make the first car. All he did was mass produce it. So what is Elon doing? He's mass producing electrical vehicles only. Well, if you don't believe in competition, that's sad. The free market is waiting for someone else to come in and even get in a debt positive position on him. Period. And he knows this. And that's why he's all in right now. Because he understands that. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you all for tuning in live, listening, replay. Definitely shout out a lot of names. This is not legal advice, not financial advice. This is a conversation in the public and open and say, where is the marketplace going forward 2020? As far as looking at ideas and concepts, are you in the game or are you not in the game? Are you pivoting or not? People don't want to pivot. Really? I want to get things back to normal. Ladies and gentlemen, what happens when they have gyms in people's houses? Because people are just going to use a yoga mat and have some type of camera in front of them, and they're going to be on some type of Zoom chat doing a workout now. We got some listeners coming in from South Carolina. Appreciate you all for tuning in, South Carolina. If you all want to shout out where you are from, always appreciate you all. South Carolina, definitely appreciate you for tuning in live. If you all want to shout out where you're listening from, that's always appreciated into the chat. Just feel free to type it in. But 2020 looking forward, ladies and gentlemen. Places like South Carolina that have a large retirement community. And the housing is not as expensive as the major cities like a New York, like a Florida, like a Chicago. So South Carolina companies like country cities and states like that, South Carolina, Columbia, specific. These are old towns that these towns either have to get with the technology or they're going to be wiped out. That's why you see South by Southwest over at Austin. South by Southwest is in Austin, ladies and gentlemen. South by Southwest is the tech conference of pretty much the states. If you're South by Southwest, you're getting it in. CES. So, who else do we got coming in? Oh, they got KC coming in. Kansas City. Someone's representing the Chiefs. Did they win the Super Bowl? Did they? Yeah, they did. Shout out to the Chiefs. I guess they definitely did win a Super Bowl. They needed that. Mahomes is a gunslinger. He's super gunslinger. Definitely shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs. Uh, Massachusetts, home of the Massachusetts Trust Company. If you all, everybody says, what can we research in the public for trust? You can go find out what a Massachusetts Trust is. It's a great place to start. It's one of many, but it's the old school style of, we'll drop this jewel on you all, and it's not a jewel. It's a jewel. Period. Ladies and gentlemen, before the Constitution was created for the 50 states, for any states, they were colonies, right? Then the Massachusetts Trust Company was one of those companies in the states, so-called in the colonies. How was the Massachusetts Trust Company able to operate in the colonies? We'll leave that for the audience's suspense. But when you come from England, people operate off that common law contract, and they've been doing that for hundreds of years. Common law contract has been here since they did the English system and got all their English system in place. Because when you look through a Black's Law dictionary, there's Latin in there, so it hasn't always been in English. It's been in Latin, and English has pulled from that Latin. So, uh, uh, someone said Dallas. Dallas is definitely a great place to uh, literally be building right now. Uh, Someone say Cambridge, Massachusetts. That's definitely a great place. Old school. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll tell you right now. Go develop some technology for these old colleges, such as a Harvard or a Stanford or any of these schools. Just developing technology for them to become more efficient to do online teaching. Ladies and gentlemen, think about that. Think about how many degrees you can get over the internet. Think about these foreigners in other countries getting American degrees over the internet right now. They literally, the colleges just said we don't care about our people anymore. Why would they? Why would the colleges care about the United States citizens when guess what? They have literally people in other countries getting degrees. They have a broader base now. What do they need you for? They don't even need you to go into student loans. They want people that can actually afford it now, possibly. 2020 looking forward, developing technologies that make it more efficient to deliver information. See, we're only in the age of information, but everybody says the age of information. So how is it order information? How fast are you processing that information? How fast are you processing that information? And not only how fast can you process it. So first you got to collect it. We already know what companies are collecting. Once again, we're back in data collection. Data collection is looking forward. You have to start a data collection company. Oh, I'm sorry. You have to be the one to create the company that may look like the next Facebook, that may look like the next McAfee. And guess what? You'll be a billionaire for it. You'll be a multimillionaire for it. You can do it on state, local levels. You could do it on international, federal levels. You could do it on international levels, globalism. But creating a company that collects data, creating a company that analyzes the data. Guess what? You want to know why they can predict what you want? It's called predictive analytics. Did you know that? Are you going to go into predictive analytics? Are you going to create a company that can predict the next thing you're going to say out of your mouth? Because guess what? Steve Jobs did, and he didn't even get a college degree. Oh, what about Bill Gates? Yeah, he created a company, coding type deal. Once again, coders have been winning for the past 10 and 20, 30 years. Guess what? They're over there and they're saying, look, we're going to create software. We're in the age of software, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we can proudly say African indigenous descent billionaire Robert Smith is a billionaire because he's invested in information technology. He's invested in software. He's a billionaire in the United States, African indigenous descent, that literally is buying software companies, buying tech companies that deal with software. Where am I going to get the money from, Trust Christian? Ladies and gentlemen, the banks don't own anything. You think they might own your house, and that's the closest thing they're going to get to owning something. But even if they have an equitable position in your company, didn't they give you money for that equitable position? Right. So how about you start pitching your dreams and your goals? Think about it. Why would you pitch it to your friend that can't give you the money? Unless they're practice. So of course you pitch it to the bank. Oh yeah, one day you're going to have 1,000 songs in the palm of your hand. That's what they laughed at Steve Jobs. And then when the iPod came out, the iPod came out, oh no, that literally changed the way music was held in your hand. Do you have the capability to create these ideas? Of course you do. Okay, we got some good content coming in. So we got analytics. You got to be able to have a company that can literally go through predictive analytics and data analytics, and it's got to be quickly. The faster you can process information, the faster you can get to the implementation of the information, and that's going to be a critical crimp in the hourglass. So it's a three-stage process. First, you got to collect it, then you got to analyze it, and then you have to actually create solutions, real-time solutions. People want things faster, 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 and so that's what people want. People want everything faster. You will never be able to outfast people, and so you won't be able to outfast people. There's a massive opportunity by speeding up processes that traditionally take 1 to 2 minutes to 3 minutes slower. That little bit of time in someone's mental mind, when we're living through an age where music is not even longer than 3 minutes or 4 minutes, you see the massive opportunity for creating and minimizing time in processes. We got someone in the chat that says they already doing work at home for yoga mats and cameras. They're definitely already doing that. We want to put you on this one. They actually have one that has a mirror that you literally put on your wall, and it's a one-way mirror, but you're looking at the mirror, and the mirror is like your watch on your cell phone. No, the watch on your wrist that literally is connected to your cell phone. And so when you're looking at the screen, you're working out in front of the screen. It does have a camera on the screen. It's a mirror that's in front of you, and it's looking at you. It's scanning your body. It's scanning your temperature. And then you may have a watch on, but it's scanning your body. And as you can see, what happens? You're literally working out from home. Oh, okay. Somebody said they've seen the mirror one. Yeah, this is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. You never saw that 10 years ago. If you did, you saw it at a Consumer Electronics Show. We've seen smart refrigerators. Oh, wow. Why isn't anybody investing in smart refrigerators? They are. And are you going to be the person that says, I literally made people's lives more efficient when it comes to them buying groceries? We appreciate you all for tuning in live, listening to replay. Thank you all. Definitely don't want to belabor it, but this was something to get people's head back up out the dirt and off of the pessimistic knowledge that they're watching on government news. We can go ahead and label it fake news, whatever you want to call it, and putting people in a position of paralyzed and actually saying, hey, look, we don't need to give you financial advice. You don't need any financial advice. You have adult conversation of the marketplace is actually still growing, even in the so-called undertone of bear. But guess what? How is it a bear market and the market's back up at all-time highs? Ladies and gentlemen, please watch where you're getting your information from. Literally. The market is at all-time highs. Go check out the stock market, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Christian at Trust Christian. A lot of people want to reach out for Trustee Training. That's pretty much shut down. We have a huge enrollment, and this is not one of those things we're sitting out here trying to, go after the masses. It's literally something where specific families are going to step up to the plate within short periods of time, and they're going to change their financial future. Just like this window has opened up for people with the marketplace from the rest of the next 6 months to literally right now where we're looking at people in trustee training. There's a window, and some people have missed that window. Bottom line, period. And some people have the opportunity, like we all do, to take great advantage of the technology. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not about where the idea work at this point. Let's get that one clear. It's not about where the idea work. Now we're in the age of who's going to have the guts to start putting on some clothes, getting back into work mode or being in a work mode, literally being dynamic and creating something from scratch and having someone fund that idea. VCs, angel investors, hedge funds, insurance companies, and banks. There are many places that you can get this money from. You can even go GoFundMe. If you feel like you got a great idea, why not go GoFundMe? So many people are terrified of it. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a massive opportunity to bless generations off of this little window in 220 for the next 6 months. The next 6 months can literally change generations in your family. And it's not just you going to buy real estate. Ladies and gentlemen, we just saw Amazon come up off of what? And it wasn't real estate, but they're buying real estate with their warehouses. Please be aware they're in Whole Foods. Ladies and gentlemen, this company is looking to control the marketplace. Are you? See, this is where we say that God doesn't pick the winners or the losers. Well, if he doesn't, who did you pick? Did you pick Bezos to be the billionaire above your family? You all enjoy the rest of your day. Peace and blessings. Christian at Trust.